Righto then, Paul, here are your last two to complete your circuit. Starting with the tricky one, the single leg deadlift. So the single leg, lots of benefits for helping differences limb to limb that we will have primarily when we run, but will creep in when we cycle. But being attached to our shoes pedal combo, that gets ironed out a bit, but it's always nice to make it better. But it certainly is there to aid us running and the prevention of injuries happening on our weaker side. So that's the main benefit of single-sided. On a training side, single-sided is so much harder than a traditional deadlift, but we won't have as much weight, and that aids the person at home, because then you don't have to go out and buy a load more weight, spending money and having the stuff clutter around. The extra hardness of the exercise is balanced up by having a much lighter load. So the practice, what I want to see you when we meet up, what I'd like to see you do is be able to do a freestanding single leg deadlift. So I'm going to work my right leg closest to the camera screen. I'm on that, and then I just move my left leg into a little bit of flex at the back there and hang my arms straight down. And I want to follow my fingertips to the floor. So I'm nice and upright at the start, bums tight, engaged. And then I drive back. My first thing must be a drive back, a deadlift being a hinge, not a squat. So now I'm driving back, and as I drive back, the weight goes onto this standing leg heel. If you feel it on your toes, what you've done is you've come forward, and now I'm off balance because my weight's not on my heel. So I flex up my non-working leg, up and out the way, fingertips are pointing down, and down I go, nice and slow, straight down. I'm looking down at the ground in front of my toe, and my leg that I had flexed, my non-working leg, is out the back there in line with my spine. And then I come up, foot touches down, ideally not, but if you're feeling a bit ooh, just tap the toe down to reset. Now if I go that slow, I could really feel this hamstring, this buttock, because I was in control. So I don't really even need weight if you can make them slow and controlled. Here I go again. Over I go, heading down towards the floor. Look where my back leg is. Out, level with my spine. If it's held down here, then it's lazy. This is my lower back working, because I'm just bending here. I must extend my non-working leg as an extension of my spine, and that really loads the pivot up, which is glute and top of hamstring, where it attaches just underneath your buttock crease. To show you that I can do it both sides, here goes. Left leg, right leg in that small flex up out the way, fingertips are pointing down. Over I go, looking where I'm going, getting that weight on my heels down, leg extended, pushing it out the back there, dropping down, standing, balancing, yes, not putting it down, that would be great. Down I go again, because anybody can do one, up the bottom, up, job's a good one. Once, and only once you can do that, do you need to add weight. And we are looking at not a lot of weight being added before this becomes more complex, because the weight's all the way here, the work's all the way back here. So, go back to my favourite leg, on righty. Because I've just had my hands hanging down, that's where they're going to go with the weight. I get my little flex of my non-working leg, and I follow them straight to the floor. Gravity's pulling them down. I look to getting to the same depth. Leg out the back, upright, foot touching down, yes or no? We can't add weight and tip, hinge less. There's no point. Smaller range of motion just for extra weight. The range you develop without anything is the range you should have with something. Weight, dumbbells, kettlebell, whatever you like, med ball, or if this was your stability ball, your big inflatable ball, it will touch the floor at the bottom. But that's not a bad training aid if you get a bit out of balance. I can be here, over I go, to push to get to the bottom and think, yeah, that ball touches, where is my leg? Straight out the back, then I can squeeze up and I keep it nice and close and I repeat. And I know I'm getting to the same place, the ball touches and I can drive up. And you can keep the back edge of the ball tight to your hips so you know you're not here. I've overreached, I'm on the ball on my foot, I will rotate and fall over. I didn't drive it. So, we're going to finish off with some calf work. The calves then are going to be worked, your swim kick, certainly your upstroke on your pedal, and every time you land, that shock force comes straight through into calves at the start and then do that push off at the end. So they do take quite a bit of battering. And even if you think, oh, I've never had a calf issue, it is still good preventative work for Achilles issues. The Achilles being the tendon that connects the calf to the heel bone. I'm going to use a weight plate bumper to give me a little bit of a lift. You've got to figure out what have I got that's wide enough and stable enough just to give me some lift for my calf raise. I've got an old broom handle here to give me some support. I don't want to fall over. I want to work my calves. The single leg deadlift you've just done helps with your balance. Let's not fall over on this, but you could hold onto the wall, but anything to give you a bit of support. Now, from the side, I'm up on the balls of my feet, and you can see when I'm up here, I can drop my heels effectively through the floor, and then I'm up in my calf raise. That's the only height that you need. Just something high enough so you're dropping your heels lower than your toes to increase the range of motion that we've got. So that's from the side. The move I'm after you doing is toes together to start with. My balance can be anywhere you like. I'll put it out to the side so it's out of the viewfinder. I'm there on the balls of my feet, big toes, heels together, and I'm dropping and I'm giving myself the biggest lift up I possibly can. The biggest lift you can get. Now that's 20 repetitions, please. Nice and steady. I go to my second position where I'm going to angle my big toes out like Charlie Chaplin, but keep my heels together. And I drop my heels down and I'm up on my toes, and I drop down and I'm up on my toes. And that you should feel stress the outside aspect of the calf muscle. The calf being a very rounded muscle encompassing everything behind the two shin bones. My third and final position, I just reverse that and I go all pigeon-toed. I tuck my big toes in together, heels out nice and wide, and again, drop and lift up high, drop, lift up nice and high, and that will stress the inner aspect of that rounded calf muscle. 20 repetitions of each, super smooth and steady. Once 20 defeats us, and you're thinking, I've already got my speed down nice and slow, then hopefully your balance is good enough to hold on with one thing, and you can go to single leg, which would just be straight up and down. Single leg with a dumbbell held in your other hand, up and down you go. Or if your balance is really good, then you could go to those other two positions with double dumbbells to make you a heavier person. And hopefully your balance skills, by the time we need to be there, you'll know where you are. And there's your number 9 and your number 10.